So hello everyone, welcome back to Oliveboard's Agri Coaching. And as you all know, IBPS AFO result is out. Many of the students would have seen the result, right? And mains result देखने के बाद अब आपको पता लगा होगा कि आपका clear हुआ है कि नहीं. For all the students who have cleared IBPS AFO mains, congratulations from the Oliveboard team. I know that many of the students who have actually cleared this exam, now they would be starting their real interview preparation. क्योंकि interview को कभी भी मजाक में मत लेना, last stage है आपकी, and this is the deciding stage which will make you an agriculture field officer. Now for all the students who are looking for mock interview or maybe even courses, here's where we are bringing you one of a kind, Oliveboard's पर्सनलाइज इंटरव्यू बैच फॉर योर एफओ. कुछ नहीं करना है, ऑलिवबोर्ड के प्लेटफॉर्म पे जाना है, बैंकिंग इंश्योरेंस में जाना है, यहां पर आपको मिलेगा आईबीपीएस एफओ पर्सनलाइज इंटरव्यू बैच. क्लिक करना है इसके ऊपर एंड देन यू विल गेट टू नो व्हाट आर द कोर्स डिटेल्स. और ये मैं वन ऑफ अ काइंड क्यों कह रहा हूं? सो दिस इज अ पर्सनलाइज इंटरव्यू बैच. इंटरव्यू बैच नहीं है, पर्सनलाइज इंटरव्यू. क्यों? जस्ट मॉक इंटरव्यूज हम आपको नहीं दे रहे. रैदर देन दैट वी आर गिविंग यू 2 mock interviews, live classes, as well as recorded sessions related to agriculture subject, as well as the overall interview guidance which would be required for your selection. अब बात करते हैं हमारे आज के इंपॉर्टेंट टॉपिक की, जो है इंटरव्यू से रिलेटेड ही. और क्या है वो टॉपिक? यस, व्हाट आर द 10 क्वेश्चंस which would be asked to you in your upcoming IBPS AFO इंटरव्यू एग्जाम. ठीक है, ये जो 2023-24 का IBPS AFO का साइकिल है, it is going to end very soon when the interviews will start. इस इंटरव्यू में ऐसे 10 क्वेश्चन क्या है जो आपको पूछे जा सकते हैं, and let's try to discuss on those. So, first question which is why banking as a career. बहुत सारे स्टूडेंट्स जो IBPS AFO के इंटरव्यूज में जाते हैं, you should know that this is a position which is in a bank, right? तो आप अपना बैंकिंग करियर शुरू कर रहे हैं, तो इसीलिए यहां पर आपको एक क्वेश्चन पूछा जा सकता है. यू कुड बी आस्क्ड अ क्वेश्चन दैट व्हाई यू आर चूजिंग बैंकिंग एज योर करियर, बिकॉज ऑफ कोर्स यू विल जॉइन एज एन एग्रीकल्चर फील्ड ऑफिसर. सो देयरफॉर बिफोर गिविंग द आंसर, फर्स्ट अंडरस्टैंड इन इंटरव्यू ऑल ऑफ योर आंसर्स शुड बी honest, and most importantly whatever answers you are giving, those should have a rational backing and a proper justification. We all know that. First, understand the purpose of recruitment of IBPS AFO or IBPS SO. Recruitment का purpose ये नहीं है that you are selecting the job, okay? Rather, this is and such a recruitment process in which banks are trying to find suitable candidates. So here you cannot say that bank is giving me this or maybe this is a great opportunity. Of course, indeed it is an opportunity, but more than opportunity, this is a selection procedure. That is why this is a IBPS AFO competitive exam. तो purpose recruitment का आपको समझना पड़ेगा. Understand the purpose of the recruitment. Selection of the best possible candidates who can be agriculture field officer. That's the purpose. Second, you are not choosers. Rather, you should justify your suitability to the role, and the role is AFO. So suppose anybody agriculture graduate is there, suppose any student is there who has already passed out the agriculture graduation, working in a private agricultural firm, or maybe unemployed and looking for such agriculture careers. All these students, you have to look at your strengths, you have to look at suitabilities, that why the interview panel should select you. Okay, you get the point? Then it's understanding the profile of AFO. Until and unless you don't understand what does the agriculture field officer do, what is his role, what are the qualities required, definitely you cannot juxtapose your suitability to that role. Interest also is very, very important. Why do you want to join banking as your career? Maybe you are interested in banking field, maybe you are interested in the subjects. Since your childhood, you are interested in banking, finance. That also could be a very good reason, provided it is honest. Then comes your honesty. So interest could be anything. For example, serving people also can be interest. Yes, of course it can be. But most importantly, you have to justify it very, very properly. For example, the interview panel, there may be 2 students. One is saying that he's interested in the subjects and overall being the part of the banking system. And second student is more about agrarian and talking about he want to help farmers. Both of the answers here cannot be right or wrong. Rather, it all matters how the both answers would be justified. For example, the agrarian candidate may be coming from the agrarian community. Therefore, he wants to actually become the cause in his society. Similarly, the banking student, maybe he's from the urban city, but since childhood his father was in bank and therefore he is interested in banking as well as finance, and he wants also to do the same cause in the banking system. That's why he wants to be the part of the legacy. Similarly, in this way, justified answers are very, very important. The next question is, tell me something about you or introducing yourself. Many of the students feel that this is an opportunity to showcase ourselves, but understand what is this question about. Tell me something about yourself or introduce about yourself. मुझे आपके बारे में कुछ बताइए आपके बारे में. This is more about knowing what type of personality this student is having, and is this personality, is the quality this person is possessing, are those actually requirement of this role, agriculture field officer. Are these qualities and personality officers like which we can select? Is this a student which we are looking for? So always remember, whatever the introduction is or tell me something about you is, this should be brief as possible. Brief in the sense, it should not be very, very long. Unnecessary information should not be there. My father is this, we live in this city, this town. No. Keep it very, very short, crisp, include important aspect, and try giving answer which implies that how you are suitable and how you are very, very important among all the candidates outside to be selected for the role. So therefore, introduction, you have to prepare it very, very clearly. Don't stretch the introduction. There are various points also which you can include. For example, your name, okay, your overall background, qualification, which institution you have qualified, of course, little bit family background, the state you belong to, your strength, your weakness, your long-term goals. Definitely these can be some of the introduction which you can mention. Always remember, the panel members want to break the ice, and that's why they ask this question. This question will give out multiple dimensions and multiple points to which interview panel will ask the supporting question. For example, if you say that you belong to the state of Maharashtra, they will ask you the crops related to state of Maharashtra. If you tell that your father is a farmer, they may ask you what are the 5 problems of farmers. If you tell them that you have been qualified or maybe you completed your graduation from ICAR, they may ask you questions related to ICAR, agricultural research. So this is what I'm trying to tell. Next, the question number 3 is nothing but all the questions which are trying to assess the quality of bank officer or OLQ, that is officer like qualities. Always remember, in any government recruitment process, they may ask you any question, maybe a question related to your hobby, maybe a question related to how you are giving the answers, maybe questions which are related to maybe theoretical or subject knowledge, or maybe even the career choices which you are making. Doesn't matter. In all the questions which they are asking, always they will be looking at one thing, that is officers like quality. Do you have? What are the manners which you are following? Maybe from entering the interview hall to even giving the answers, the eye contact, how you are even doing the hand gestures. Not only that, overall, which words you are using. Are you faking it? Are you giving abrupt answers? All these things. Honesty, of course, they will try to find out the truth. They don't want people who are deceiving, but rather really honest to themselves. That's what they are looking at. Confidence, because it's okay to not know everything, but confidence is really very, very important in interview. Tactfulness, that how you handle the situation, how you do not lose either your emotional content, neither your overall composure. Clarity of thought as well as clarity in overall knowledge. Okay, so if question is asked, you have to be very precise, you have to be very, very specialized, and most importantly, you cannot actually give answers which are wrong, or maybe if you don't have clarity in some context. Communication is also very, very important. For example, if you don't know the answer, directly abruptly saying that I don't know, but rather than that, you can say that I apologize, sir, I cannot recall it this time, but if you allow me, can I just guess the answer this time? So this is how the communication can make the difference. Thoughtfulness as well as integrity and secrecy. Time to time when questions would be asked, all these things would be actually seen in your answers. The fourth is the roles and responsibility of agriculture field officer. Very, very important. So every time one or the other candidate would be asked, do you know what are the roles or what are the responsibilities for the position which you are applying, that is agriculture field officer? And surprisingly, many students don't know about it. So try to get these points to make an answer out of it. Financing. So the main role of agriculture field officer is, always remember, so many of the private banks, public banks in the rural areas, they are having their branches. every bank has to give the loans or maybe credit and financing in the rural areas to the rural community as well as agrarian community, farmers, rural people, all the even small industrialists or maybe even small farmers, including everybody. Okay, so therefore financing through the appraisal of loans. So loans, providing loans, clearing the loans, this is the main function of agriculture field officer. Assisting the branch managers in the in agricultural loans as well as agricultural deliveries in the rural areas. So whatever branch managers are there in rural areas, most importantly in the rural domain and agricultural domain, providing loans to the community. Visiting the field, so apart from the banking closed office job, AFO is also on the fields, visiting the fields, observing the fields, meeting the farmers, knowing their problems, assessing their needs, what they required, in what are their needs, and for those needs what are the financial assistance they would be requiring. Relationship with rural and agrarian community. AFO is also the linchpin. What is linchpin? Linchpin is nothing but he is the middle person between government, between institutions, between government officers, agencies and the farmer, and he connects all these upper tier machineries and organizations with the grassroots farmer. So that's why he is the linchpin between government agencies and the farmer. He connects the top tier institutions with the grassroots level. Who? AFO. And last is credit portfolio. So he is responsible for providing the credit in the utmost important domain, that is agriculture and rural community, and that also brings business to the banks. Okay. The fifth question is how to answer the questions on bank preference of options. So suppose they ask you which is your preferable bank or branch of bank, which banks do you want to join. So always remember, you won't be judged on this question. Be honest, whatever your choice is, it may be PNB, it may be syndicate, it may be anything, but you will not be asked or you will not be judged on your answer. Rather they will try to see that how you are handling the situation. आप situation कैसे handle कर रहे हो. That is why whenever you give the answer very with honesty and very clarity, but also support it with some justification that this is the bank which I am I like the customer service, or maybe I really want to be the part of, and definitely you can give the answers in such a way. Keep some rational points in which preference do you want to, which bank preference you want to choose, and always give the answer. Okay. More importantly, they won't be actually judging you what answer you give, but always how you are justifying it. Next question is, will you leave this bank if better job is offered to you? Very important and interesting question. First of all, be honest. For any person, if a good opportunity comes, he will leave the job and go, right? This is honest. We are human beings. But at present, when you are sitting on the chair in that interview hall, always remember this is the best opportunity for you. And if they ask you that in future, if such opportunity comes, you tell them that you will consider all the factors when you are making such an important decision in your life. And more importantly, always whatever answer you are giving, that answer should be aligned to the organization which you are applying, that is IBPS AFO. Now you are in the interview hall. If you are giving directly the answer that, sir, I am not going to choose any other future opportunity, I'll be as a AFO only, you are lying. Their dishonesty is there, will come, and interview panel will see it. If you are saying that, no sir, I'll leave the organization and I'll go, it questions your integrity. So always give an answer which is well balanced. How to give it? Simple. Whatever answer you will be giving, tell them that you will consider all the factors while making the important decision of your career. Also tell them that, sir, I am very aligned towards the role of agriculture field officer. I want to explore this domain. I want to be the part of banking system and grow along with it. This is what aligning towards organization means. I hope you get the point. Next, question number 7, role of banks in rural development. They can ask you role of banks in rural development as well as role of RRBs, role of SHGs, role of anything. So remember how to give the answer. For example, when they are asking about banks, simply you can say that how till 1967 banking was only restricted to the tier 1 cities and urban cities. 1969 resulted into nationalization and lead bank scheme started, through which area designated and area approach bank penetration started. This resulted into class banking, transforming class banking into mass banking. Also, then the credit was allowed to make in rural areas according to rural requirement, agriculture sector according to agriculture requirement, formalization of credit which resulted into elimination of money lenders, welfare schemes, okay, social schemes were given to farmers, Pradhan Mantri Fasal Bima Yojana, direct benefit transfer, Jan Dhan Yojana, JAM Trinity, this came into being. Rural credit and infrastructure became very, very strong because of such credit availability. The income grew and the wealth creation also started. If you see before Green Revolution, after Green Revolution, this will also give you a picture how much important role the banks have played in the agriculture sector. So this is a good answer for the role of banks in rural development. Similarly do it for RRB, similarly do it for SHGs. Then comes development in agriculture and rural areas in recent month. Now this is very, very important because in interview hall the panel members will be expecting that this student is very, very well aware about the recent updates which are going in banking, finance and agriculture sector, right? So therefore, go through the agriculture, current affairs and banking and finance updates of this year. Last 8 months would be very, very good. Then there are certain questions which will be always asked in the interview. Which are those? How much farmers have availed the loan this year? Total farmers which are under KCC right now, new loans sanctioned under in this year, and what is the total amount which has been given to the farmers, total procurement of grains, then interest subvention scheme related data, as well as agricultural production of different crops, field crops, horticulture crops. You should be knowing about it. For example, this year it is more about millets, International Year of Millets. You should be knowing about total production. So therefore, in this way, these are some of the highlighting points you can definitely work on. Then comes the second last question: problems faced by farmers, how RRB develops the rural area, and how will you bring business to the bank. See, prepare such important topics which are related to very, very core of agriculture field officer and banking sector. For example, problems faced by farmer, fragmentation of land, climate scenario, then other than that, if you see unavailability of resources, proper credit mechanisms, okay, the price stability and price assurance, okay. Other than that, more than 80% of farmers are marginal, also dependent on monsoon, floods, drought-like condition. These are various also unavailability of proper technology in farming, fragmentation we have already talked about. These are some of the problems related to agriculture and faced by every farmer in the country. So definitely you can state in this way. Other than that, how RRBs help to develop rural areas? Yes. So earlier when you see, RRBs came into existence as rural banking financial institutions or organizations which in the small districts or group of districts or villages, here RRBs, regional rural banks, were formed. These were designated to specially give credit facility and loan availability in the rural domain, in agriculture, okay, then in your overall for SHGs, then in your overall rural artisans, for all these overall rural agrarian community, for their credit availability and their financial assistance, these RRBs came into being. And how they have changed the rural areas? Yes, providing them credit, improving their earning capabilities, and also making them, giving them wealth assistance through which they can improvise their overall income. So in this way you can give good answer to such a question. So search more about RRBs, banks and agrarian sector. How will you bring business? Of course, you will be talking about how you can avail different schemes, different loans, as well as credit assistance through which you can assist the farmers. Okay, so in this way, prepare for such topics in hand. Also, the last question, the 10th question which we will be looking at, this is your 10th question. There are similar such topics through which the questions could be asked. What are these questions? For example, NPA in agriculture sector, non-performing assets, everybody would be knowing about. In banking, it is nothing but non-repayment or failure to repay the loan for 90 days minimum, right? In agriculture sector, NPA is defined different. So if a farmer fails to repay the loan for 2 harvesting seasons, that is called as NPA in agriculture. So therefore you should be knowing about what is the number of NPA. Why NPA occurs in agriculture? Can anybody tell? Yes, in the comment section you can mention it. So it happens because of the, of course, the problems associated with the farmers which we discussed. Okay, so unavailability of proper credit, then even logistic, transport problems, even climate problems, over dependence of monsoon, price assurance and price stability, all these factors would be really affecting the farmer and his production. Objective of RRBs, why RRBs came into being? Of course, rural development and rural financial assistance. Agriculture loan, credit facility or loan which is provided for any expense associated with agriculture activity, that is agriculture loan. Fertilizer, land, technology, equipment, tractor, anything. Lead bank scheme, it is nothing but one branch or any one bank can be called as lead bank, which would be given an area approach. Area approach in the sense, one lead bank would be given a complete district or a group of district, where in that particular area, that bank has to completely look into the agricultural credit assistance or maybe overall credit facility and loan facility for the agrarian and rural community. That is your lead bank scheme. Scale of finance, it is nothing but in a particular area, in a particular district in Uttar Pradesh, for production of sugarcane or for production of rice in that area specifically, how much finance is required. That is the scale of finance or requirement of funds for the cultivation of a crop in a season. Financial inclusion, so it is nothing but availability of the credit, availability of the money or capital, even how much people are connected to the bank accounts. All this is financial inclusion. The journey of nationalization of bank in 1969 to your JAM Trinity, Jan Dhan Yojana, that is your financial inclusion. Kisan credit card, it is nothing but revolving credit for farmers. So every time after each harvest season, farmer doesn't need to apply documentation for the loan. It is nothing but normal credit card provided to the farmers through which they can avail the loan for their each harvesting season, right? Next, crop loans, it is nothing but loans taken for the crop production. Kisan Vikas Patra, it is nothing but saving scheme, one of the saving instrument for the farmers, and other schemes which are related to agriculture. Then comes your cropping seasons. Which cropping seasons? For example, some farmers in some regions, Maharashtra or maybe Madhya Pradesh, they do 2 cropping seasons, 3 cropping seasons. In some areas, they do 1 cropping season. Therefore, such question can come, what are the different cropping seasons in your particular region or particular area? Name the crops grown in your region or your state, very, very important. Privatization and merger of the banks, such topics related to banking. So, here opinion-based questions are there. Now, again, recent current update, your second farm protest had started. So you can expect a question related to farm protest and opinions which are related to farm protest. In this way, these are all the questions which we discussed today. So I hope that in this video, you got answers to all the 10 important questions and associated topics which can come in your this interview of IBPS AFO. Thank you very much and see you next time.